it comes to urban living and sustainable living within urban environments, one of the biggest impacts you can make, and also actually one of the easiest things you can do, is to completely eliminate your food wastage. Food wastage is a very, very big portion of what we throw in the bins. That then ends up in all kinds of places that produce pointless gases when they could be transformed into amazing nutrients, go back into the garden, start the cycle again, feed you and your family. I want to show you a few different ways, specifically in this video, worm farms, how you can use worm farms within urban areas to eliminate your food wastage, and then off the back of that, what you can do with the rest of the food waste that these guys don't particularly like, so that you can still go in and eliminate your food waste completely. Just before I show you all of the yummy food waste that we're going to make disappear, I just want to talk you through my setup quickly. What I have here is one of my 2 bokashi bins, and I'm actually busy trialing a little mini worm farm within this bokashi setup. I've done quite a few videos on bokashi which I'll tag up for you. Within an urban environment, bokashi is really awesome. It has a very small footprint and produces really good products at the end of it. In here we have a 3-tier worm farm. I'm only busy filling up the bottom one at this stage, but in essence 2 different types of worm farms depending on the size. This one is super compact, is actually working really well, slightly bigger, so you can stack it up, you can have multiples. I'm going to show you what these guys like. Then behind me over here I have an outdoor composting system, and then secondly I have probably the best composters you can get out at the back, and you'll see them, the chickens. So let's have a look at what I'm going to be processing here and see how we can use what where, what should go where, and what the best way is going to be for me to eliminate my food wastage completely. So let's take a look at the spread of food waste and what we can do with it. What I do is, this little bucket over here is quite nice. It's got a nice flap on it. So that one and that one stays in the kitchen. All the scraps for the worms go into this one. And what I'm talking about here are, at the top there we've got pawpaw peels, banana peels, coffee rinds, anything that's not citrus and that is not from the allium family, we pretty much throw in there. I keep all my coffee grinds separately, although I do put a few in there. And why I keep it separately is I use that to throw onto the blueberries. Then what I have is, I have a non-worm section. And what I have here is citrus, a lot of citrus. It's winter and we love our citrus. And we have pineapples. The acidity within the pineapples don't really sit that well with the worms. Then we have onion skins, onion tops, onion peels, put a lot of the onions in here. And then just off things like chilies and things like that, that you just generally don't want to give to either your chickens or your worms. And then what I have here is an optional. So obviously eggshells, you can put this anywhere, compost, put in the worms, give it to the chickens. So this, I decide where I pretty much need it. Same with the tea bags. With the tea bags though, you need to take them out of the bag. Just if you throw them in like this, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of microplastics. And then what I have here is some leftover pumpkin skin from last night, and then a half-eaten apple that got confused between the child and the dog. So that one's never there. And here you can see we have the pips and all of that. And what's going to happen with this is going straight to the chickens. So I did mention to you that this video was primarily about the worms. So let's take a look at the worms. This is the repurposed bokashi bin that I am turning into a little worm farm. Now if we look very carefully on top of the paper, you can see all these little black spots. And those are where the worms have come in and basically left their feces behind, which is the worm castings. If you lift this up on top of the potato skins in the corner here as an example, there's a whole bunch of castings. If I move this around, this is all quite fresh, so we might not see too many up at the top. So you can see how well everything has broken down. It's really, I think we might actually be in luck here. Yeah, look at this. How amazing is this? We have worms mating. So these are 2 worms busy making more worm eggs. Pretty cool. And if I look through the waste that is in here, food scraps, this looks like what was an avo peel. You can see the worms inside it. Quite small guys, so lots of them. There's an egg over there. So this is all in all a very, very healthy little ecosystem that's busy thriving. I've taken quite a bit of juice off already. So every week I come and I drain the worm tea off from this. So what I'll do is I'll take the bucket that I showed you, which was for the worms, and I'll just sprinkle some of the things on top. The pawpaw peels, there's some coffee grinds. You can hear the crunching of the eggs. Just break them up. If you don't like getting your hands dirty, wear some gloves or do this in the kitchen with a masher or something like that. There we go, pop it in. Don't push it down too hard. And then what I like to do is either take leaves, straight fallen leaves from the garden, or like I mentioned, my neighbor regularly throws over shredded paper over the wall. This has been lying in the rain, so you can see it's already moist. If it's not wet, just soak it for a little bit so that the worms have a bit of moisture. Close that up and you're done. Now let's have a look at the bigger one. This obviously takes up a lot more space. Let me remove the top. And let me bring you in close. So now this one, if we move the top layer of paper away, you can see how much better they've been at composting. That being said, what is magical about this, and I'll show you the magic now, is there are a whole bunch of, I'll show you now. Not sure if anyone knows what those are. They are black soldier flies. I have black soldier flies all over this bin. Let me find a little cluster for you. And black soldier flies are known to be incredibly efficient composters. So if your goal is to reduce waste, you have no problem with having black soldier fly in here. If I open this up and show you black soldier fly, it's a whole bunch of black soldier fly, and they are living harmoniously with the red wigglers. I've read in places that you should never mix black soldier fly and red wigglers. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Here we can see, look at all of them. All that's going to happen is these larvae are going to turn into black soldier flies. They will lay their eggs. Black soldier flies don't have mouth parts, and they will start the cycle again. And all you end up having is a highly, highly efficient composting system that breaks down waste incredibly quickly. And here's another example, a whole bunch of black soldier flies with nice fat worms living side by side. So exactly the same thing would apply to these bins. Take your waste, throw it on top, spread it out, and then you would take leaves or whatever you may need to. What I like to do is add in tea bags here, tear them open, And then you can just sprinkle that around. And as we did with the small one, put a layer of leaves or paper on top just to close up the waste. I'll finish this off later. Put the lids back and that's it. You are finished. Now, quite a handy little tip is when you've just emptied out your buckets or containers, check the tea that needs to come out. So if we look at this one, let me tilt it forward. You can see all the worm tea coming out. And if you use the same jar that you've collected the food scraps in, if there's been any breakdown, there'll be a little bit of nutrients available. The coffee grinds, they will all go back into the garden. I'll let this drain a little bit more, but if we have a look, beautiful, beautiful worm tea that's going to absolutely thrive in the garden. So now there is the next option, which is if you do have a compost pile outdoors, then throw your citrus, your brassicas, sorry, not brassicas, your alliums, onions, all of that. You can see there's a whole bunch of fynbos flowers. What you want to do is, if you have a compost pile, take the middle and open it up. Now, you can see I have been throwing food scraps in here. It's really nice and warm. And if you have a look, we have the same guys in here, the black soldier flies. They are hugely, hugely efficient at breaking down organic material. And the food scraps that I have put in here previously are pretty much gone. And all I can see is black soldier fly. Let me try and find some for you so you can see. These are busy wiggling. The soil is actually busy moving. There are so many of them. There's two over there. You can see them wriggling. Ugh, it's quite a strange sensation. But these guys are doing incredible work in the compost. So dig a hole, take your citrus, take the things you don't want to put into your worm farm, take your fork, spade, whatever it is, close it up, and I can guarantee you in about 2 weeks all of those peels and scraps are going to be gone. Now, when it comes to chicken waste, something like pumpkin skins, they absolutely love. Just dug a whole head in there. They absolutely love it. I know there are so many things you can do with pumpkin skins in the kitchen. We do that all the time. But what you can do is give it to the chickens. They make your eggs. They're gonna eventually, I keep them, all the food scraps in this section. So you can see the color of the soil if you can. It's beautiful, dark, rich. So food scraps in here, they're kicking it up, they're fertilizing it when they're busy pooing. And if you haven't seen a chicken with an apple, they absolutely love apples. So what I'll do, I'll empty that out. She'll have a little panic attack. But all of this stuff, 10-15 minutes, it's going to be gone. The other chickens are busy sussing this out and they'll be here in no time. So if you have chickens, don't forget, don't give all of your food to your worms. Make sure these girls also have some yummy, yummy nutrients and food. So if you want a beautiful edible landscape, you need to find ways to feed it. And what I mean by feeding it is reducing the amount of nutrients and additives you need to bring in. Whatever you create and generate, use that to put back. And if you are bringing in, don't get rid of it. So if you buy fruit, veg at the shops, there are orange peels, there are whatever the case may be, don't get those into the bin. Put them back into the system so that you are improving what you have here to create more for yourself, your family, the nutrients in the ground, the ecosystems, everything that's connected to food. But the single biggest thing we can do within urban environments to make a difference is to reduce the amount of waste we create and turn waste into nutrients, to feed gardens, feed ecosystems, feed life, and put back what we are taking out from somewhere else. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, please share it out to your friends and networks, and let's all come together and make a difference and reduce our waste to live more sustainably. Until next time, happy growing.